This is an I Am Listening original podcast.
As much as everyone will say, always listen to the people around you, also listen to your heart. Make sure that if everyone's saying this is what you should go for, if you don't connect with that, then that's not the place for you. And it's always worth looking at all these other options you've got, because you may well find something that sticks with you, and that's what really drives you.
Welcome to the Hitlist GCSE Surgery podcast with East Kent College's group from EKC Canterbury College, hosted by me, Numi Gildert. I'm joined by a panel of education experts as well as students, and we're going to be giving you advice on what's next and also what you can expect in your next step of your education journey. In this episode, we're talking to current students about their experiences post-GCSEs.
The Hitlist GCSE Surgery with East Kent College's group, a family of 6 community-based colleges. See where at ekcgroup.ac.uk.
So I'm now joined by 3 current students, Luca, Samantha and Chandrika. First of all, I would like to ask Luca, what are you studying and how did you choose your course?
So I'm a graphic design student here. I study with the Canterbury School of Visual Arts at Canterbury College. It was honestly a bit of a tough decision for me because I've suffered with a number of health conditions. So I'd actually originally wanted to go into something like stage tech, sound tech, and obviously it's a lot of heavy lifting. It's the sort of thing that's not really possible for me. So what I ended up doing was looking around all the colleges in the area. I went all the way up to Dartford. I went all the way down to Broadstairs, looked at the entire lot, and I just went in and spoke to every single tutor that I could find with all the different core subject areas that sort of interested me. And it was when I came here that I spoke to my current tutor now, and it was sort of the passion and excitement for teaching that made me really decide that this is the place where I want to study and that's the course I want to choose.
And how's it going? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, so I'm enjoying it greatly. It's been tough. It's a very sort of hands-on in terms of you're doing rather than talking a lot. But once you get down to the thick of it, it's really fun and engaging, and it's had a lot of sort of opportunities to get into industry and work with those industry partners that has allowed me to sort of develop my skills as I'm going through, and that's sort of been one of the driving things that's kept me wanting to do the course when I found it tough, is knowing that everything that I'm doing has helped develop my skills.
Amazing. Samantha, I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you study? Why did you pick it? How did you get to where you are now?
So I'm currently studying A-levels at Canterbury College, and I've always wanted to do A-levels. My career choice is hopefully to become a surgeon. So I'm doing 4 A-levels, which include biology, chemistry, maths and psychology, and I'm absolutely enjoying it too. It fills my heart, which I didn't really expect, funny enough. I am excited to come into college every day, and I like that the sixth form is connected to the college. So you also get, even though it's 5 days a week, it is very flexible and you're able to get involved in trips and meet new people, like the Freshers' Fair. So it's also, if it's not for you, you have access to so much information about apprenticeships, T-levels and other courses.
And you still feel part of the college, and does it feel like a slightly different environment to if you'd have stayed on at your old school or sixth form?
So I think it's a very different environment. I'm very involved in the SU, which I think offers so many amazing opportunities. And I think it also puts you at a little bit of advantage because you also get to meet those people that come from different backgrounds and experience different things to you, which is just exciting.
And Chandrika, I'm going to ask you the same question.
I'm Chandrika, I study at Ashford College and I'm on access to higher education. I have been at the college for 5 years. I've also done early years and I want to be a children's nurse and go to university. But I wanted to do access because I felt like it would be the right option for me to progress into further education when I leave.
So I think we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to ask Luca, what is your favourite thing about studying at college?
So for me, I was recently elected as the Student Union President here at Canterbury for the next year. So it's going to have to be the Student Union. We've organised so many different trips, we organised so many different events, and it's been amazing seeing that the voice I've had as the past year as a course rep has managed to really get through to those higher up members of staff and actually make the students feel like they've been heard and make sure that feedback's actually acted upon. So being able to not only affect change, but then also have all these fun trips and events, it's really got to be one of my favourite bits of being here.
Because I guess it feels like you have a lot of agency as well, because you are able to voice your opinion. There's avenues for you to see that be put into place. What's the best trip that you've been on?
Ooh, okay. That's a tough one. Honestly, I think it would have been probably the Harry Potter Studios trip.
Nice.
So for me, I love Harry Potter.
What house are you in?
I'm Ravenclaw.
Right, checks out.
Yeah, and it's, as I said before, it was like stage, industry, theatre tech. That's all the sort of things that I wanted to go into. So even though that's unfortunately something that I can't do, going there allowed me to see just how much graphic design went into all this different creation of this world. So for me, even though it was this fun trip, I went there and I got to sort of feel connected to this amazing body of work. So it was definitely one of my favourite trips.
Chandrika, I'm going to ask you, as a student at the college, you've obviously been here for a long time, so you've experienced a lot of it. What kind of support has there been for you during your studies?
There's been additional learning support. So there's a hub that we have at Ashford that students with special education needs or mental health conditions can go and just have their own space. There's also student support and progression mentors that can help students who are struggling with anything as well. So you can book one-to-one meetings with them and have them weekly.
The Hit List GCSE Surgery with East Kent College's group. They're officially outstanding, says Ofsted, receiving top marks in every single category.
So I think we've talked a little bit, Chandrika and Samantha, about what you'd like to do next. Luca, what's next for you, and how do you think college is helping you get there?
So for me, I think I'll probably be off to an art and design university. So going on to study graphic design still, but with graphic design, it's one of those things that's got so many different specialisms within it. So being here and on my course, I've had the opportunity to look at different parts of graphic design, not just as a whole. And so I think that's allowed me that when I go to visit open days for universities, that's allowed me to sort of see what specialism I want to do. So I've sort of followed the same technique that I used when I was looking at colleges, which is going to absolutely everywhere, talking to all the tutors, seeing what they say, seeing how I feel in that environment. And it's led me to sort of decide, I want to stick on what I've done so far. I want to keep going with graphics and go off to university.
The amount of research that you put into finding college and then further education makes Ravenclaw makes so much sense. Samantha, I'm going to ask you, because you're doing A-levels, how do you find the A-level environment in a college? Obviously, there's a lot more independence for people at college doing things like apprenticeships or BTECs. Do you feel like you have, and there's also kind of a maturity where you are given more responsibility in a college environment. Do you still find that's the case whilst doing A-levels?
I think A-levels, the timetable is very flexible, but especially having the LRC, so for psychology.
What's the LRC?
Learning Resource Centre. So that's where you can find all the books for psychology if you need to research further. So it's definitely, you have to put the work in. So they say it, but people don't listen. From September, when they start teaching you the content, you have to have a grasp and you have to start revising. My best advice for GCSE students is have the best summer of your life. And if you have been revising now, I suggest stop, relax, because as soon as it hits September, you have to have a grasp and you have to start learning the content and getting a revision schedule. And I've spent the summer revising because I'll be in year 13. That's so scary to think about. And so the next step for me would be uni. I have one more tip for GCSE. If you got results that you weren't expecting, or if they weren't so I'm a perfectionist by nature. So if it wasn't 100%, I wasn't happy. But what I definitely learned coming to sixth form and coming to a college environment is it's in the past. There's nothing you can do now. So just look for the future, look for the positives and everything, and just enjoy.
I think that's really good advice as well. And I think it's really good to fail. or not do as well. I didn't do as well I did the IB, the International Baccalaureate. I didn't get the results I wanted. I had to go to uni through clearing, and it continues to be the best thing that ever happened to me, because learning to pick yourself up from that, and also learning to adapt, because I think sometimes we are put on that train track of education. You're going to do GCSEs, you're going to do A-levels, you're going to go to uni, and that's not the case. There are so many different routes. I ended up going to uni and doing a PhD, and now I talk about Ed Sheeran for a living. So, really anything can happen. So, yeah, I think that is really good advice. So Chandrika just wants to say something about if you don't get the results you wanted.
So something that I wish someone had told me when I didn't quite get the results that I wanted was be confident, stay hopeful, don't let it get you down. Mm-hmm. From a personal element, I did let it get me down a little bit, but I didn't realise the opportunities that college had. Personally, I was really scared to go to college. I didn't see it as an option, but I'm so glad that I did it, because I have evolved into the person that I am today. I have the confidence to come and do this. I've also been part of the Student Union Society at college. I've been elected student president, and within being at Ashford as well, I created a Celebrations of Cultures event, which is to promote equality, inclusion and diversity. I do find that going to college, you do have a lot more diversity than you would in a school. You have a lot more freedom, and you're free to do what you want as well. But just stay positive and keep talking.
Do you want to add anything, Luca?
I mean, I can definitely add something. So for me, I was sort of told constantly by everyone at my school that sixth form was the place for me. So personally, I did well in academia, but it wasn't what I connected with. So as much as everyone will say, always listen to the people around you, also listen to your heart. Make sure that if everyone's saying this is what you should go for, if you don't connect with that, then that's not the place for you. And it's always worth looking at all these other options you've got, because you may well find something that sticks with you, and that's what really drives you. Because it's important that when you're in education, after coming out of GCSEs, you now have choices, you now have options. You are now effectively living your own life. You're not set within the rat run of education that we're sort of given. So it is so important that you make sure you choose something that you enjoy and that you love, because otherwise it's not going to be rewarding. And if it's not rewarding, then you're not going to learn effectively.
He says, I think I can say something, and then says the most beautiful, profound advice ever. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. A round of applause for our students. Thanks for listening to the Hit List GCSE Surgery podcast with East Kent College's group from EKC Canterbury College. For more information, you can head to ekcgroup.ac.uk, and you can find the rest of the episodes of this podcast series at im-listening.co.uk or wherever you get your podcasts.
This has been an I Am Listening original podcast. For more information, head over to our website, im-listening.co.uk.